Welcome to the channel about news from around the world. While you subscribe and like it, we're going to start.
Recep Erdogan has set off on a Middle East tour. Leading economic analysts unanimously say that the main purpose of the visit is to save the Turkish economy, which is in the deepest currency crisis. The Turkish lira is weakening rapidly. Over the past decade, the lira has depreciated more than 10 times against the dollar. The Turkish central bank, in order to save the situation, makes powerful currency interventions which have almost completely depleted its reserves. To save the economy, the country needs to attract tens of billions of dollars of foreign investment. Recep Erdogan is embarking on a tour with an outstretched hand. The first stop was Saudi Arabia. The paradox of the situation is that the Turk went to countries that were once territories of the Ottoman Empire for help. This is roughly like Putin going to Bishkek to ask for Kyrgyz investment in the Russian economy. It is clear that Arab countries with their huge oil and gas revenues are no match for a Central Asian state. But for Erdogan's imperial policy, seeking help from the descendants of Turkish subjects is akin to humiliation, especially since relations between Turkey and Saudi Arabia have recently been out of hand. The Turks almost directly blamed Prince Salman for the murder of opposition Arab journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The prince denied this accusation to the end and waited his time. Erdogan, disregarding the principles, pulls his hand. The first results of the trip became known. Halik Baraktar wrote in his social networks that Turkey and Saudi Arabia signed a contract that will become the largest defense and aerospace export deal in the history of the Republic of Turkey. Let's leave aside the poor performance of the Baraktar TB2 vehicles. This deal is really worth several $100 million, but it is unlikely to rapidly improve Turkey's economic situation. Dozens of similar contracts are needed to straighten out the situation. Will Erdogan be able to convince his Middle Eastern partners of the need to inject money into the Turkish economy? The big question. I don't rule out that he will succeed. Or maybe not. The near future will show. What is clear is that it is not favorable for Turkey to sever the established trade and economic ties, even if Ankara sees Arab and European prospects. Russia has very strong ties with Turkey. Their positions are strong even now. They include the Akai nuclear power plant under construction, millions of Russian tourists bringing foreign currency directly to the shores of the Turkish Mediterranean, the notorious Turkish tomatoes, and much more. Erdogan is far from stupid. What Turkish naval convoys? What are you talking about? He won't even let the Americans into the Black Sea, as White House Coordinator John Kirby has already indirectly acknowledged today. This gentleman said that the U.S. Navy will not escort any bulk carriers with grain. Let them take the land routes. The Turkish authorities will sit on two chairs as before, trying to maximize their own benefit. But this is a very vulnerable position. One can both eat fish and sit on spicy food. The field of activity for Russian diplomacy is difficult but wide. A good game can be played. I'm sure it has already begun, as evidenced by today's talks between Sergei Lavrov and his Turkish counterpart.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested, subscribe and leave a comment.